passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now. But this is your fight.
Welcome to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk about all things Star Wars. My name is James.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Colin.
And I'm David.
And what you just heard was the trailer that dropped today at Star Wars Celebration. The new movie, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we happen to all be in the room today, and you watch our YouTube video, you're gonna see we were in there, and what can y'all describe the feel of like how it was in there? Like, can you describe how everyone felt?
Well, I mean the fact that we were all sitting right next to each other was amazing.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But I just remember watching it, and then I remember James sitting right behind me, and then just him just giving me a giant hug and just shaking me. And I mean, that was the second time we watched it, but it, like, in the last podcast we were talking about on Thursday, it was just like they gotta nail this. Like, I mean, they have to. This is the last one, and that's what they did with this trailer. It was amazing.
All right, Joseph.
This trailer broke me. I don't think there's any other way to explain the way I felt after it was done, because the emotional roller coaster that I had been taken on throughout this entire thing, which I'm pretty sure we're going to break down here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're going to break it down here.
But from the opening scene until the very end of that thing with the cackle, and I'm trying to describe it to you guys, and I can't, because I have goosebumps remembering, like, the way I was feeling, the way the crowd was reacting, the way, I mean, it was my celebration moment. You know what I mean?
What was really funny was, we all, if you go on YouTube, you'll see the trailer reaction we put up there. I stood up and started yelling like a crazy person, which is why my voice sounds like it's going away. I looked over at Joseph, and Joseph was still sitting down, and I was like, oh my gosh, he did not like this trailer at all. And then, like, afterward, you told me, you were like, dude, that was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And so what it was, you were just completely speechless.
I was so blown away. It just, the entire experience, not necessarily just the trailer, just the entire day up to that point had broken me, man.
All right, David, how do you feel like the whole crowd felt and everything?
Well, we were hoping to get something to talk about that was spectacular, and we got that exactly. The sound was perfect, I thought. The treble was perfect. The bass was perfect. It wasn't like a rally bass. Mm-hmm. The bass was like nice. It didn't shake the seats, didn't shake your body, but it was like perfect.
It didn't need
the levels were great. And I mean, there's so many things we could talk about, but the feeling in Wintrust Arena here in Chicago, 2019, it felt a little different than other celebrations. It felt like there was a little bit of angst.
Oh, yeah.
But once we saw that first image of Rey doing that side flip, it right there, they had us. They had us at the flip.
Hook, line, and sinker. They were like,
I was almost in. I mean, we'll get to it. We'll talk about this thing. But I agree that with Colin, you know how we said how they had to bring it. They had to bring their A game pretty much, and they did. This whole trailer, it proved Star Wars is still relevant, and Star Wars is still full of surprises that we had no idea what could happen. You know what I mean? I felt this trailer really, really captured all of that. And I guess without further ado, do we want to just get into it and break down this trailer about our thoughts?
Break it down.
Yeah, so this is gonna be a fun podcast. We're gonna break down the trailer, and if you've seen it as many times as we have, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So we're gonna start the trailer now.
it's been wild. We've all been busy all day at Celebration.
Yeah.
But I have watched this trailer no less than 10 times today. In the last hour.
Me too. We watched it. So the opening shot, which is already perfect, and they filmed in what was it, Jordan, right? They filmed in Jordan, and the shots there that they showed us there at Celebration looked amazing. And so with Rey looking, I was like, what is she looking at? What is she doing? And when she pulled out the lightsaber right there, I lost my mind. Okay, so let's pause it. Do you think what color did you think the lightsaber was going to be? And did you think, like, that was the actual lightsaber? You know what I mean? Like, how did y'all feel?
Well, for me, she had already kind of spoiled that in the panel.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, she said
she was like, the lightsaber is still there. It is in the...
I think she said the lightsaber lives.
The lightsaber lives. Yeah,
exact
she didn't
words.
necessarily say that she had it. She didn't necessarily say that she had it throughout the film, even.
Right.
But she did say that it lives. So,
actually, when the panel was going and when the actors would be talking, and then they would show pictures up on the screen of
Did you see the lightsaber?
I did.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah,
I missed it. I didn't
Yeah.
see it on her. I was too busy.
Yeah.
Freaked. She made fun of us a little bit because we all freaked out when they showed her picture.
Yeah.
And she goes, "That's me with a stick." So and we're like, "Yeah, it's Rey with a stick." So shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty.
But even before that, guys, the panting and the breathing.
It was
I mean,
weird.
What happened before then? It's like, what trailers tell us something. They're always trying to tell us something. They're always clues to what you're going to see in the movie, of course. But the panting, I mean, is this the lead up to the final battle between her and Kylo? I mean,
I don't. Okay, so there's a lot of. We'll get into that in a second. But one of the things I was thinking about with her panting and all that, Force Awakens. She sees the Force vision. She's out of it. What is she doing?
She's panting.
She's panting.
She's breathing really hard. Yeah.
Last Jedi, after she did her Force vision again, she was panting afterward. I think we are coming in on the end of one of her visions that she's having at this point. Like, this moment's about to happen, and we'll get into what's about to happen, and she had to close her eyes and go somewhere to hear something or to see something. And when she came out of it, she's still panting about it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what we're coming in at the beginning of this trailer. What do y'all think?
I think that's a good theory.
Yeah, it's solid.
That's solid. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's play it. So now we get this beautiful shot of her, the gunslinger moment with her lightsaber there, and you see the ship coming, and she doesn't even look afraid. Like, she's
Well,
not
her
even.
blaster from Episode 7 is there too.
Oh,
So she's
yeah,
going
yeah.
at it Luke style with a blaster and a blade.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
I see
and
it.
the shot that they get with her hand right there by it is basically something out of an old spaghetti western.
Yes,
you know?
very true, very true.
It's that classic Clint Eastwood shot, in my opinion.
I mean, the main question that I've been thinking is this a planet that we've seen before? Is it maybe Tatooine on the outskirts? Is it?
I think
Probably not, but I mean,
I think with the way they've been talking about filming in Jordan and all that, I don't think it's Tatooine.
No.
And I don't think it's Jakku either.
yeah.
Well, we were talking in line today. We went to the Celebration store line. I mean, everyone's talking about this thing at Celebration.
Oh yeah. Everybody's talking about
some of the people
this.
that didn't make it into the panel we were talking to, and they said the whole place just came to a standstill when this trailer started. That nobody was doing anything but standing by the Star Wars show stage watching this trailer. People that were working went to watch it and things like that. Awesome. It was amazing. But because it's filmed in Jordan, I came up with a theory that Rogue One the Jeddah shots were also done in Jordan.
That was the other planet.
So my theory is that they're on Jeddah. I don't know if that's accurate. The sky's awfully clear for it to be Jeddah. But
I think it's a planet we've never seen before.
but
I'm
yeah,
gonna-
I would like that very much.
I like the Jeddah theory.
Yeah, I mean, because of I am seeing it right now, I do see the resemblance. I mean,
right. I
of
mean, it's
Jeddah,
shot within the
so-
same area.
Yeah.
And plus,
So what were you inferring with the sky?
I mean, the planet got blown to hell basically in
That was 30
Rogue
years
One.
ago.
Right, but I mean,
If
there's
they
still
go
gonna be
by
some-
the whole same nuclear
Right,
concept,
right.
and it was like a single reactor ignition shot.
right. So I mean, who knows? I don't
There's
know.
a
I
whole
could
lot
be-
of planet there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. I
Yeah.
could be onto something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's good to hash it out.
Yeah.
I like it though. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I do like the Jeddah. Going back to Jeddah, oh man, yeah.
That
I
would
love
bring a
that.
lot of things.
I mean,
in.
if they're connecting everything together,
That's a good way to
what
do it.
better way than to
Yeah.
tie
Okay,
Rogue One
but
into
here's
this.
the thing though. They filmed there for 3 weeks, and a lot of the trailer is this planet.
Yeah.
Which means either one, Abrams did what he did with the first teaser where he just showed us brilliant Jakku,
Yeah.
or this is a huge chunk of the film that they're doing there.
Either way
You
is
know what I
totally
mean? So
possible.
Okay.
that's another
And the
thing.
shot with Poe, Finn, and Ray hugging,
Yeah,
is
that was-
on that location.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and they're all three going to be there, which we'll get into the trailer later. All right. So, the wording here, when it comes up, every generation has a legend. That is a great play off of the Episode 1 trailer. That
Great
was
callback.
shown.
Yeah.
I mean, when I saw that, I was like, Abrams, you did
Crafty
it. You did
jerk.
it, man. You knew, he knew exactly what to put. And what was funny was for me when I was a kid, whenever I heard about 7, 8, and 9, I always used to have my own like wording. And I remember thinking like every generation, I always said every generation has a first step. Like that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I saw that, I was like, that's better wording than what I thought was ever going to happen.
Well, and
you
the other
know?
thing is, like, when I was a kid or when I was younger,
Yeah.
and I would think about the possibility of there being a 7, 8, and 9, my thought was always, who's going to be the next Luke? You know what I mean? It wasn't that Luke was going to continue. Even as a
wow, that's
kid,
interesting.
even as a kid, I was like, who's going to fill those shoes? Who's Luke going to teach?
Oh, wow, that's an interesting thing. Like
I think everyone thought, who is Luke going to teach?
Right.
But I don't think we thought that he was going to be disconnected from the Force and all that stuff.
Yeah. One thing I remember when I was a kid, my saying was it was every generation has a first step, every saga has an ending, and like that was what
Yeah.
I wanted my teaser trailer to be for a Star Wars
Right.
movie. Didn't happen, but Abrams did a really great job with every generation has
Yeah.
a legend.
Right, yeah.
And all right, so we continue on. And we get the sound effects swell. We're looking at this desert. I had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, I was looking at this landscape thinking they can do what's going to happen. And the camera's moving quickly. It's going fast, and you hear the sound effect, and then there goes the TIE fighter. She lights the lightsaber, and man, everybody went crazy when she ignited that lightsaber.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, and did you notice the sound effect for the lightsaber? It was more of the green lightsaber than it was a blue lightsaber lighting.
I feel like you're reading a lot into that.
I don't think so. I
am-
disagree.
Yeah,
I
that's gonna be
disagree.
Like, yeah.
I am reading a lot into it, but every time I hear that sound effect, that's the sound effect of Luke's lightsaber
Green
turning
saber.
on in Return of the Jedi. Because that was the first time I had ever heard that sound of a lightsaber.
Well, the thing I was looking for was how she reattached the hilt. Mm-hmm. This is Anakin's lightsaber. She
Yeah.
reattached it, and her hand is kind of covering the point
Yeah.
where it broke.
Well,
Which
no,
I'm
I'm not.
sure
I'm
is
not
on
saying
purpose.
she used like Luke's. I'm not saying like that. I'm just.
I'm not saying
that.
that either. I'm just saying we didn't talk about that, so that's
Yeah,
why I
yeah.
mentioned it.
Well, and the other thing about the lightsaber hilt is, to me, it looks a little shorter, and it looks a little thinner. I don't know if I'm being crazy or not.
You are being crazy, but I'm going to watch it right now and see what you're talking about. So you think it's a little shorter and a little
I
thinner?
think it's a little shorter and thinner. That's just me.
It does look a little cut off there at the end. And her hand is covering it perfectly to where you
Right.
can't see it. It does. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The shape on the bottom looks a little fatter. Like the bottom part of it does look a little
Like compared to the rest of the
compared
saber.
to the rest of the saber. Again, that could be us maybe being like, "Oh yeah, they changed this." You know,
Yeah.
but it's probably not.
I'm probably
But,
reading way
we're-
too much
we're
into a
probably
lot of
really,
things.
really reading way too much into it. But yeah, when I heard the sound effect, I immediately thought of Return of the Jedi lightsaber turning on, and I was like, "Ooh, that was pretty cool."
Well, and I love the way when she turns it on, her hand kind of jolts a little bit with the power coming through
Yep.
it.
And then she
amazing.
goes around and does that pose. Okay, now the gloves. The gloves. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is this Kylo Ren?
yes.
Or is this somebody? Is Lucas? I mean, is Lucas? Is Abrams
Abrams.
trying to get us to do something else? What do you think?
The gloves, to me, I think it's Kylo Ren. I don't know for sure, but you can even see sort of an outline of a cape.
Yeah,
in
you
my
can see the
opinion
cape, and you can even see like maybe a little bit of the black front. You know what I
Right.
mean? So many theories now. Kylo Ren and Rey, what are they doing right now? What's happening? This is not the climax of the movie. There's no way Abrams would be like, oh, by the way, this is the ending of our film.
I think he could. I mean, he doesn't show us a whole lot. He cuts it right when the action's about to start. Right when Rey's about to swing that thing and do what she's going to do with the saber.
Well, and the other thing is, this could be very similar to the Force Awakens trailer, where all of the footage was the first 30 minutes of the movie, essentially. You know what I mean? Like,
True,
what if this is the opening scene?
That's a good way to look at it. And plus, okay, so here's another thing. They showed a picture of Kylo Ren before they showed the trailer
Right.
without his helmet on in the cockpit of something. The cockpit of probably this. He doesn't have his helmet on. And then later on in the trailer, we'll see he's patching his helmet together, which means it may be later on in the film.
Right.
So maybe this could be Abrams being like, this is our opening of the film. This whole Jordan sequence is the beginning.
I have a theory. Just bear with me.
Go for it, man. We're crazy.
All right. It might be the Emperor. I mean, I would say just bear with me because of in the comics. Not in the comics. In the old books that are now legends, the Emperor did become a clone at one point. So I was just thinking about it. I mean, because they're not showing his face, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it could be. Who
So
knows?
it's one of those things where at this point anything goes.
Right.
We have no idea who this could be.
Right.
Kylo Ren, the Emperor. We'll figure it out.
Vader.
So then it goes forward. It goes forward.
no,
She
See, in my
turn-
opinion, it's clearly Kylo.
It's clearly Kylo.
Yeah.
But that feels like a swerve. This also, if you're gonna make a fake scene for a trailer, this feels like the fake scene for that trailer. The pilot flying.
Okay.
Not the entirety of the scene, but just the clip of the gloves holding the
Oh, I see
handles.
what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. So we go forward. She looks back at it. She starts running. What did you think was going to happen? I had no idea what was going to happen. It's getting close to her, and then the most amazing shot I've ever seen in Star Wars.
The flip.
This is what I wanted in The Last Jedi.
That's what you wanted in The
Didn't
Last
get
Jedi.
it, and we got it in a trailer.
Dude, I was almost in tears when she did this flip. Like, and the reaction from the crowd was insane.
Yes.
Fist pumping, punching the air.
Everybody was
Screaming.
almost on their feet yelling when she did this flip because it was one of those things where it's like this, and like you said, this is something you want to see in a Star Wars film. Like, how amazing is it to see a Jedi doing something like that?
Right.
And then Rey is like, boom, she does it. She's not even afraid of this thing.
Exactly,
Okay, but here's
yeah.
my question now. She's not afraid of this. Is this an attack? Or is this
Team up.
a team up? Is she training for something?
This will not be the first time, so
Yeah, the people behind us, really nice people. Shout out to David and Katie there at the Star Wars Celebration store.
Yeah,
Y'all
they
are
were awesome.
amazing. She had said, it looks like almost like they're training. It's a training simulation of some kind, which is why she's not afraid because one, she trusts him, and two, she knows that this is not a life and death situation. That this is them doing something together for something that's going to happen later.
Well, and the other thing that's happening in that scene is if, let's say this was Kylo Ren or another First Order pilot, seeing Rey, who has now become the face of the Resistance, right? Seeing this enemy of the First Order, why aren't they shooting at her at all?
That's I think David or one of them said that.
They're flying straight at
He
him.
was
but
like,
no,
why don't
no shots being
why don't
fired.
they fire? Why don't they fire at her?
Because it's personal.
It's personal.
He wants to just run her over. He wants her to prove her mettle.
So you don't think this is a
this
team
is a
up?
force battle. This is not pew pew. This is straight up
That's my
personal force. Let's see what you can do. I know what I can do. Let's go. This is the ending of the movie to me.
Oh, this is the ending.
This
of the
is
movie.
straight up the ending.
well,
This is mano a mano stuff.
But
This is her against him.
See, this whole thing feels like a swerve to me.
well,
I feel like Abrams is showing us an amazing scene that's gonna be somewhere at the beginning or the first half of the film.
okay. Well, if it was a maybe a training exercise like you say, then why would she turn on her lightsaber during that side flip? I mean, like right before it, she turned on it.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know.
Well, if you train, you got to use your lightsaber.
Yeah, true. Even yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's very true. Why would she turn on her lightsaber? And it doesn't look like she's gonna slice.
It looks like maybe if she like swung her arm out, she could slice the wing off of the.
Yeah, they
tie.
cut it off right before she struck.
Yeah,
I think,
That's
or did
amazing.
whatever she's going to do.
All right,
Such
so
an
let's-
amazing.
Well, I mean,
What you got?
well, before you go, that scene actually kind of reminds me of the scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where Gamora's on the ground and then Nebula is flying in with her ship and then she's like chasing after her. That is what it reminded me of. So I think it's maybe in Rage.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean of the whoever is flying in there. We don't know who.
I'm not gonna lie. That is a great image in a film
Yeah.
of her there by herself. And later on, we're gonna see an action sequence that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe she stays behind. She turns around, and Kylo sees her, and then he just comes for her, and she just sits there and waits for him,
Right.
not afraid, and just oh man,
because she knows she can take him at this point.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe like you're right, like you said, David. Maybe this, Kylo Ren's like I don't want to shoot her down. This is like you said, this is personal.
I'm gonna squish her.
This time it's personal. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna run her over.
Right. And Joseph pointed out that there's a bit of red on the front of the TIE silencer.
yeah. What
So
is
maybe
that?
it's an upgraded TIE silencer.
Well, see, I think
I don't
it's-
think any standard pilot's going to get a TIE silencer.
I don't think it's a TIE silencer. I think it's the First Order's version of a TIE intercept.
It kind of
It
looks,
looks like the
his-
silencer.
It looks more like an intercept to me.
Oh, we'll see. We're not gonna argue
Yeah.
about that. Which one it is. All right, so let's continue on, and then we get this amazing shot this Christmas. Okay, now this coming up.
That's an A-wing.
Okay, is this an A-wing?
That's an A-wing.
What? And well, I mean,
Yeah.
hang on.
You see the little fins over the engines.
So the
And
theory
then the cockpit, it's an
is
A-wing.
this ship flying in is either an A-wing or it's the ship that left Rey on Jakku.
I'm confirming it. It's an A-wing. I can tell.
You can tell?
Yeah.
All right, so
100%.
never mind. There is
You're
no
gonna look
theory.
real foolish if it's not.
I can say. Well, we're not, because it's not that ship that was that
No,
we
it's
saw.
too small.
Yeah.
All right, so this ship.
Well, the
comes-
engines are too far apart. The engines are too small.
So this is a new planet, new city. Almost reminds me of in Rogue One.
Yeah,
that
that's-
shot
that
of
was
the
what I thought
X-wings
his
coming
first
in.
two.
Into
We're
Edu.
Yeah, that's
Thank
what
you.
this reminds
We're
me
blowing
of.
right over. Or are we still playing?
No, we paused it. We can just keep going. Okay, so that comes in, and then Kylo Ren beating the crap out of this guy. I don't know if you know this, but he's stabbing him
With the hilt.
with the
part.
hilt
I
of the
know.
saber.
That shot was beautiful.
And here's another thing. I mean, slow motion in Star Wars now. We did. Last Jedi did it. We're doing it again. How do y'all feel about that?
It's
Cool?
great.
Yeah.
It's
Great?
perfect.
It's great.
It's
Okay,
beautiful.
I'm just curious because like the prequels and the original, I don't think had any slow motion. I don't think they played with that. So this was, I was like, oh, interesting. So that was pretty good. That just the sheer force of him just knocking this dude to the ground. Okay, so there's a battle going on in the woods. Okay, now we have. Let's pause it on the helmet. He is putting together his helmet, which proved
With red Gorilla Glue.
Yes, with the red gorilla, with the ultra red Gorilla Glue. And then you said, Colin, somebody had told you or you noticed.
Well, so,
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at it. Yeah.
Oh shoot! All right, so it does kind of look like a. I mean, at the back of the helmet, it kind of does look like the back of Darth Vader's visor. I mean, I
kind of does.
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
a little like
Right.
underpiece
Lift to it.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's like more of like a bike helmet, and then he has like cloth or soft parts like right below it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I just noticed that too. That's I didn't catch that. I just thought it was his regular helmet that he's putting together. But yeah, there does look like there's an extra piece he added to it, which makes sense because he does have his grandfather's helmet.
Right.
So
Yeah,
he,
but it was all burnt to.
yeah,
Well,
but look at what his
melted.
helmet was. I mean, he could easily just be like, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, so then let's continue past the Kylo putting his helmet together.
Beautiful.
Okay,
shot
so
of,
now we got Finn and Poe on this desert planet in Jordan, which is probably where this whole sequence is at. Next shot is beautiful because it is now BB-8 and the new droid D-O.
It looks awesome.
D-O looks like such a simple droid, but at the same time, it looks freaking adorable.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
What do you think about him, David?
Yeah, he looks like a Wall-E character.
Yeah.
When they were showing some of the concept art of him
Oh, yeah.
at the thing, and they literally like based his design off of a duck.
Yeah, they're like make it look like a rubber duck or something.
Yeah.
And he looks awesome.
Yeah.
And apparently, okay, so awesome job from the Celebration, because Abrams said that on set they did not have a fully functional working DO or BB-8 because you have a whole
Well, in
group.
7 they didn't have a
7. No, even when they did 8, they still were like,
right when they were filming.
yeah, when they were filming. So when they film these things, these droids are not just like rolling around by themselves. They have a whole crew with them doing stuff. For Celebration, though, they have like show droids that they bring out. So the BB-8 you saw on stage today is not the BB-8 that's in the movie at all. The DO that was on stage today is not the DO that was in the movie at all. But they were able to get them to work. So do you think this droid is not going to be like the biggest toy of 2019 to get this guy? Do you think that's going to happen? And you can kind of make him life-size too, man. Like if they build him like that,
Yeah,
You really could make it life size, yeah.
what you got?
Only if they hold the way he speaks.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Because it's like very, very like cute, babyish, kind of like R2, but even younger
more
sounding.
toned,
Yeah.
Because the original voice for BB-8 was amazing. I remember when I heard that voice
Right, at Celebration
at
2015.
Celebration, and then
Anaheim.
even the Sphero before the app updated, the voice was the original BB-8 voice, and it sounded
Yeah.
amazing. And then the movie comes out, he starts to beep boop, and then I was like, wait, that's not him. And yeah, so let's see if they keep the same DO. All right, so, and I like this. It's a cute video because they're both tilting their head over.
Yeah.
Like looking like, what is that? Okay, and then here was the shot everybody freaked out on.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking Lando Calrissian is back in the cockpit. He's happy. He's smiling. He's back in his baby.
Yep.
And he's smooth as ever.
And he's smooth as ever. And so what's really cool now is, this new generation coming into Star Wars, they've all seen Solo now. Like a lot of these young kids have seen Solo. They've seen, Childish Gambino. No, I'm just kidding. They've seen Donald Glover as Lando now. And so it's going to be amazing for these kids to get caught up with Star Wars and come to see 9. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's the older Lando. Look how happy he is to be back in the ship that he lost from Solo. You know what I mean?
So I still find it's wild to me that they put him in his costume from Solo. Essentially,
Right, yeah.
That's such a weird call.
I think it's amazing. I think that is like Lando would still be like, these are my clothes. These still look amazing on me. I'm gonna just keep wearing them. Okay, so here's my question to you: Is he gonna mention L3 in this movie? Is he gonna walk in and like say something about L3? He has to. He freaking has to.
Yeah, that's going to be on the fantasy chart that we have. What's going to be mentioned?
It's
what
gonna be
happens?
episode 9 bingo.
Yeah, I think he's got to get in and he's got to say something like, I wonder how good old L3, good to see you again, or something.
Oh man, that would be so great.
I got chills thinking about
There's
that.
gonna be some weird text on the screen at some point. He's be like L3.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
dude, I'm telling you, man. But it was so amazing to see him. Like, I didn't realize how much I missed Lando until I saw the trailer. Like, when I saw him in the trailer, I was like, I miss Lando Calrissian so much. Like, why hasn't he been back? But man, him being back now makes it so much better.
Yeah.
And all the fans wanted him back in
Yes.
episode 8, and now we get our wish.
And man, hearing him speak about J.J. Abrams was insane. Like, the amount of
Yeah.
love and respect he had for J.J. Abrams was crazy.
Yep.
And he was like, I've been doing this a long time. And he says, but working with this man right here was one of the best experiences. So, which means he's comparing him to Irvin Kershner as well. And he said he's better than Irvin Kershner. Ooh. All right.
Claim.
So let's keep going. So Lando and then the Falcon coming out of Hyper. Oh,
Always
yes.
love that.
The saga comes to an end. Beautiful. And then,
Sad.
okay. It looks like moisture farming in the next shot. So, what do you think?
Yeah, it kinda does.
Okay, this entire sequence right here looks insane. The visual effects look insane. Okay, now we get this amazing shot of C-3PO, Poe Dameron, and Finn. And 3PO looks like he's just holding on for dear life onto this mast.
I
And
think that scene will just be a scene where everyone's going to be laughing.
I think this scene alone, just in the trailer, the visual effects in this scene alone looks like some of the greatest visual effects I've ever seen in a movie. I'm not even exaggerating.
Well, and then to me, the skiff that they're flying on and the scene looks like some of the stuff that the what were those things called? The Outriders or the Enfys Nest people?
Yeah.
From Solo, it looks like what they flew in on.
Oh, I see what you're saying, like the speeder little things.
The
they had?
speeders and things like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Again,
Well, guys, if you look closely through the dust cloud, those are troopers with jetpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
See?
Troopers with
Yep, you're right.
Oh, dude!
First
yes!
time we get troopers with jetpacks.
I see it. I see
not
it
in
now.
an animated series.
Yeah, and yeah.
Okay, so now we cut to. Okay, the medallion.
Well, and you skipped over the A-wing crashing.
Oh, the A-wing crashing, which is probably the same A-wing.
What if
from the
that's
other-
Chewie's medallion?
Oh,
I was about to say that. Dang.
she's gonna be like Chewie. This always should have been yours. So here
Oh, passing it down to Chewie
Well,
for Han.
so
What you got?
So the shot where the A-wing's getting shot down, I don't know why. I mean, because it goes so fast, but it kind of looks like Coruscant to me. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
All right, let's check. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like
Yeah.
the sky kind of
Yeah.
looks like the sunset of Coruscant.
yeah,
Okay, I mean, it does look like Coruscant.
yeah.
That is really weird.
So I mean, so that would be really cool to kind of go back to the Jedi Temple and
The Coruscant. Yeah, I would love to. I would love for Rey to go to Coruscant. Like
that
that's,
would be.
Okay, so now
She would lose her mind on Coruscant.
I would lose my mind on Coruscant. I mean,
how did you feel about seeing the medallion again?
ooh.
Brings it back to episode 4.
Is it,
Yep.
I mean, is it Luke, Hans, or
I think
I think it's Han.
I think it's Hans because the way she's holding it.
And maybe it gets past to Chewie. I'd love to see that
That,
somehow.
oh my gosh. Everybody would be so happy because that's the biggest thing since like 1977. You know what I mean?
Why didn't the dog person?
Why
get
did the
one?
dog person get his freaking medal? So obviously Leia is holding the medal, so that's amazing. And then we get our first shot of how they are going to do the intercutting with Leia. Okay, so is this really Carrie Fisher hugging Rey?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
so this was a moment in episode 7 that never happened.
Yes.
Right, but to me, I'm just interested because of that's her in her costume from episode 9, like in Rey's costume episode 9.
And here's
so-
another thing: she's wearing the armband on her arm from the attack in episode 8. So either they're doing some really, really,
In-depth digital editing.
yeah, because maybe she's hugging somebody. Maybe Carrie Fisher hugged somebody,
Yeah.
and they took her out and put Rey in. And then the other shot is Rey. You know what I mean? Like they did.
Well, I'm sure they had like 4 scenes where Carrie Fisher didn't have to be facing the camera.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times on bigger budget productions, they'll have body doubles stand in for them
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't have to do that. It's totally possible that the person Rey's hugging there isn't actually Carrie Fisher.
Well, no, that part, but I'm talking about the part where we actually see Carrie Fisher's face.
Yeah, I mean, they hugged at the when Rey got back to the planet, the Resistance planet after Han dies.
Oh,
They do hug there.
Takar.
Takar, thank you.
Oh, okay. So you think they're using that shot? What
Y'all are all wrong. This is the scene where Leia says, "I am your mother," in the original episode 7 treatment.
Are you? Oh, I want to say yes, David, and I want to freak out, yes, but it's still the costume from 8, and it's still the.
They
the
can
arm.
digitally change that. They're not going to change people. They can change costumes.
Well,
Fabric is easier than skin.
are you saying that because of in the trailer? I mean, well, in the scene, Rey's crying.
This is the original scene in episode 7 where Leia reveals that, yes, I am your mother. They do the embrace, but they recycled that footage into episode 9 to whatever they're going to give us at this point.
That's a pretty bold theory there, and I like it. So let's hope that that's what happens.
Yeah.
So we continue. We see Rey hugging her, crying, and then we get this awesome shot of all of them there.
That's my favorite shot from the entire trailer. Is that shot with them standing on that hill? It's just beautifully done.
You got Rey, Finn, Poe, Chewie, BB-8, D-O, and 3PO.
And it's just
And they're all together.
I know.
They're all together. Like, that was what everybody wanted to
Yeah.
see, was them all together.
And not only that, they told us at the panel they all go on a mission together.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
that's
Chewie, BB-8, C-3PO, Rey, Finn, Poe.
and Tio's there too, isn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
Oh yeah, Dio's in there too. He's like,
Yeah.
He's chilling there
in the grass.
I saw a thing online that compared that shot to a shot from, was it Seven Samurai?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
The thing that George Lucas originally based Star Wars off of.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah. So what was it? Korea. What's his name? That director.
Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah. And that was a huge influence on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. And so the fact that Abrams honored
On
that
film in general.
Yes. So they honor that with this shot, and it's freaking amazing. Okay, so what are they looking at? And then that's when we see our first shot of the Death Star remains. So somebody on Facebook, they were like, "It's the Death Star," and
they drew
it in, and it was like, "This is the exclamation point question mark," and it was like, "Yeah." It's there's no doubt about it. It's the Death Star. Like, why?
Well, when I saw this, I didn't immediately think Death Star.
I did.
Because I didn't think that was Endor. Endor doesn't have that type of grass. Endor is woodland. But I don't know if the entire planet is a woodland planet.
Right.
But here's the thing: the forest.
But everyone's just assuming that now.
It was only a moon of the forest moon of Endor. So it exploded. It could have gone in many places. The debris of this thing.
It could have fallen on Endor proper. It could have fallen on.
But wasn't that a gas giant? No.
It could have fallen on another moon that's
nearby.
lives.
So here's another thing. Okay, why are we all?
It would make sense if it fell not on Endor because Rebellion would be on Endor.
Exactly.
So
But they had a big party at the end of it.
To bring back the Ewoks
and they would have found this and probably tried to destroy any trace and make sure nothing goes.
It would be a perfect place, a perfect different planet for someone to hide.
Oh, jeez. You see?
And I wonder who that someone is.
So, do you remember back in the day when I told you what my theory about Episode 9 was going to be what the opening was? Was Rey going to Naboo and looking to find the secrets of Palpatine and how Palpatine tied? I called that. All right, y'all can't even say I'm making it up right now.
If you did call it, it's recorded.
Okay, so it's there. There was an earlier episode and I said that was the opening of the movie because they get to this planet in Naboo and she goes into this cave and whatever, and that's where she finds all this history about Palpatine, and then through this history, then she finds out about Snoke, and then how Snoke came in, and then how Snoke got the Knights of Ren because the Knights of Ren are now reigning terror on.
And we didn't get any Knights of Ren in this thing.
I think that's a good thing. I think he's holding them back for a good purpose, and it's gotta when they are revealed, people are gonna lose their minds.
So you're saying the poster's legit, the leaked
boy.
One guy that I talked to said that he thought the guy that Kylo Ren was fighting with his, where he's stabbing him with the hilt of his saber, he thought he was a Knight of Ren, but that feels weak sauce to me.
Yeah, it better not be. Okay, so let me ask you this question. We're all saying Endor. Why is nobody saying
not be Endor?
Well,
why is nobody saying Yavin 4?
I was about to say that. I was like, maybe this is not the Death Star 2. Maybe this is the very first one.
It's a question of space geography. Was Yavin 4 that close to the Death Star? I don't think it was.
Well, and the other thing is, in canon...
Unless you're talking about the original Death Star, but that blew up into pieces, small pieces.
One of the Death Stars was used to build a space station for Alderaanians.
That's
in
right.
canon, in the Aftermath series.
That's right. They found...
They used the pieces of it to build a robot planet for them to live on.
So here's another question. They have that early concept art from Force Awakens of Kira, at the time her name was Kira, swimming in the remains of the Death Star. And was it Yavin or was it Endor? I'm pretty sure it was Yavin. That was where
if we weren't in Chicago, you have the book at home.
I know I have the book. I know exactly where the book is too at home. So it's one of those things that it's an ocean. It's not forest. But then again, Endor.
It's grasslands here.
Yeah, it's grasslands here, but it's in the middle of an ocean. There's a bunch of water in front of them, and so it could be.
But I'm all for Ewoks showing up.
Heck yeah.
So so we're gonna say it's Endor.
I want to say no,
but we want it to be Endor.
Everyone is saying Endor.
To be Endor. Well, there is so much stuff besides the trailer that we saw at that panel. So I do remember the shot.
You're right. Yeah, there was pictures of
of
the woods. And,
they went the group goes everywhere.
Yeah,
they don't stay in one place.
So do you think the movie is going to be strictly them and the Falcon flying around to places?
I'm okay with that.
That's what it feels like.
And then...
Maybe not strictly, but it seems like a big chunk of it is that.
And then they get in trouble.
Well, then Lando would have to be with them.
Okay, so here's my thing. They get in trouble, Chewie escapes, and Chewie finds Lando. and they fly back.
Lando and Chewie to the rescue
Yeah.
one last time.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, oh my god. No. Okay, so the shot of the Death Star was beautiful, but then the final Chewie we're home moment.
Yep.
And okay, my question, did they top it? Did they top it? Did they top the Chewie we're home?
It's up there.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
This is a different sentimental feeling. This isn't like the warm-hearted. This is like the,
Like
oh my gosh, no one really saw this coming.
No one saw this.
No one.
No one said, I'm calling it.
Yeah.
There were maybe rumors and whispers, but no one was like, it's 100%. We're gonna get Palpatine back.
Yeah. For me, like that moment was like stuff was going down. Like this is it.
Yeah,
this is it. All of the 9 movies, like all 8 movies have led to this moment right here.
Everything you just said is exactly what I felt because it was exactly because when that laugh came up, I just realized this whole franchise, this whole story has been something else the entire time we have never realized until that moment. And all it took was a freaking laugh at the end of the trailer, a cackle.
And hindsight is 50-50, and it's like we should have
2020.
Oh yeah, 2020. Sorry, I'm thinking about sports stuff. So we should have kind of our ideas should have led to something like this.
You would think that, but it was one of those ideas that you have that you're thinking, there's no way. Like that's not
I'm
even
insane.
That's
for
not even in the
this.
realm of,
Yeah.
of possibilities at this moment.
Yeah.
Palpatine died. We all saw Palpatine die, but to hear that laughter,
Yeah.
and then to think, and then my brain just flew, like Colin said, because you're just going, whoa, wait a minute, what's this whole thing been about? And then you realize the villain from the beginning is still possibly the villain through the entire thing.
And see, I want to find out if Ian McDiarmid was told a while back by JJ that you're probably coming back, or if he had no idea at all. And because Ian McDiarmid has been doing every celebration,
Yeah.
he is very, very heavy on celebration appearances, interacting with the fans. He's very charismatic. He seems like he loves Star Wars, and I'm just really wondering, when did he know he's coming back?
See,
And
that's
how did he keep it such a
Yeah.
amazing?
Well, he's a
secret?
master actor.
He
Oh yeah,
really
he's
killed
an insanely
not letting this
master
leak.
Yeah.
master actor. And we were talking about this before we started recording. The Emperor is already one of the top villains of all time, like one of the top. Thanos is becoming also one of the top villains of all time.
Right.
With this movie coming out, with this role for him,
Palpatine just said, "Hold my beer."
yeah, Palpatine just said, "Watch," because this could propel Emperor Palpatine as the greatest villain in history, in cinematic history, and that is insane. All
The
right?
most maniacal, diabolical.
Of all time.
Evil
And what's
SOB
so
ever.
we were talking about in line with amazing people, by the way.
No one really dies.
We were talking about them, and we said, how amazingly perfect was it to cast Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor? Like,
That Lucas foresight.
dude, Lucas was so smart to be like, I need you to play this part. He waits a couple of years, and then he goes, you're old enough now to where if you play a younger character, it makes perfect sense. He steps in 1, 2, and 3, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is Ian McDiarmid is an amazing actor. And then we get to 9, and you hear him laugh, and you're like, holy crap, like this is gonna happen.
So yeah, once that happened, my hype level from a scale of 1 to 10 was like
27.
an 8.762. But once the trailer hit, I'm like on a scale of 1 to 10, like 2,760.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was what was your like? Because you were frozen. You didn't scream.
Like I said, I couldn't have screamed. There was no possible way for me to do it. And like what's going through my head right now is episode 1 through 3, Obi-Wan's your hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episodes 4 through 6, Luke's your hero.
Yeah.
Episodes 7 through 9, Rey's your hero. The villain for all 9 of these freaking films is the same freaking dude.
And that's what freaked me out when I heard
The ultimate
laugh.
puppet master.
Yes.
It's insane.
That is what freaked me out.
have
'cause-
goosebumps
again. Because when he started laughing, it hit me. I was like, "Oh damn, okay, bad language, I know. Oh man, okay." Was there
Finn
some,
said that in episode 8, so you're
Yeah.
fine.
Was there some way? I know you're gonna say no, James. There's no way. There's no way.
Try me.
I already know you're gonna say no.
The overarching
The
story.
overarching
That's what
story.
I was gonna say.
I promise you. Do you think Abrams was like, okay, this is kind of where I'm going. And Ryan Johnson was like, yes, kill Snoke. We have to kill Snoke.
Here's the wind up.
No.
And the
Kind
pitch.
of. This is what happened.
Okay, we got
JJ, when he got the duties to do 7, he's okay. He said, I'm thinking of 7, but like every other director out there that has something like this put on their plate, they're not just thinking of 7, dude. They're thinking about 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to think that he didn't think of 8 and 9 and complete the story in his head would be insane. So he completed the story. Ryan Johnson did his thing, and JJ just he was kind of written to whatever corners he got written into, but he figured it out. He used what Ryan Johnson gave him. So it turns out like Snoke might not have ever been important. Snoke was a puppet, possibly by Palpatine. So it's in a way a duology and not a trilogy from JJ. But I think JJ cracked the code of taking another story from a different writer director and coming up with this. But you're saying that Ryan and JJ had a meeting. Maybe this is the outcome. But at what point did they have that meeting, though?
See, okay, here's my thing to you. You said he wrote him in a corner. From what we were talking about, there's no corner Johnson wrote him into.
Right, but it's the hypothetical corner.
It was almost like Johnson was like, boom.
But great creators are really never in corners. It's just a matter of time.
Right.
But here, I don't think there wasn't even a discussion. I think what happened was they had spoken early after Johnson was hired. He came in, and I think Abrams said, this is kind of where we're going to go.
So Ryan had to stay hush-hush when everyone criticized when he killed Snoke. So
yes, because and even he said, your Snoke theory sucks.
So
he kept telling everybody.
So
it doesn't matter.
Ryan might be like the quiet superhero here.
I think. Okay,
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm getting to. I think Ryan
taking
Johnson,
all the bashing,
he has
just
to.
taking it and
Because-
saying, just
because
you watch.
He
He's
knew
the Dark Knight in this situation, not the White Knight. in
Because
this
he
one.
knew, almost like when Episode 8 came out and people's reactions to 8, and then when they, I mean, not 8, sorry, 5, when Empire Strikes Back came out, people were like, the tone of it was weird.
Yeah.
What's up with why did Leia like Han? Leia's always should have been with Luke. Why did Han Solo get kidnapped at the end? He should have been saved. And then you watch 6 and you go, oh, that's why she can't be with him, because of this.
right.
Oh, he was kidnapped so they can save him. It all makes sense. Johnson may be the biggest hero right now because he took all the slack, and it's all. And you think about it, he was never hurt by the comments that were thrown at him because he knew what Abrams was gonna do with 9.
In theory.
I'm thinking this theory may be okay. It's a theory. Yes, it is a theory. That is my theory. I think Johnson was like, I killed Snoke for a reason. Kylo Ren rises to power. Kylo Ren then quickly realizes I was never in power. Snoke was never in power. We were all played.
We got to find out what the timeline was because Trevorrow was going to do this film.
Yeah.
But at one point, did he get fired and JJ come into the picture? Because Trevorrow was supposed to do his own thing as well. So I just said that JJ probably thought about 8 and 9, so he probably had that in the back of his head to go back to. But what's the timeline?
That's a great question. We have to go back and look at that. But I know I had sworn, like, way when Johnson was hired, it was Johnson, writer, director, episode 8. Johnson, writer, producer, 9. Like, that was kind of an idea where it was almost like they'd said Johnson is going to finish the trilogy, which I was excited about. Somewhere in there, that didn't happen. So we got to figure out whether or not Johnson was carrying the torch, whether or not Trevorrow came in, and what script did Trevorrow use. We don't know who wrote his script.
Trevorrow did.
Did Kennedy let him write his own script for that?
Yeah, he either co-wrote or wrote, but it was his story. And he told Daisy Ridley and left her in tears.
Yeah. So we don't know. Who knows? Maybe he also knew the Palpatine thing was going to happen. I mean, that's a whole...
We won't know until this whole thing is done and the book comes out. And it's like,
man.
Yeah, we won't know for like another 30, 40 years probably.
Maybe not that long, but...
Okay, so now we get to the title, which... Okay, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you're good. Well, my hope is just that, like, if they do end up running into Palpatine, in theory, that they kind of explain like the whole story with Snoke. I mean, I just hope that we.
Oh no, they are.
Okay, all right.
I don't think Abrams is gonna be like that didn't happen. We're
Yeah.
just gonna no. Abrams is gonna explain everything to us.
But in how many lines is he gonna explain it?
Yeah, and I mean, and Rey's parents too. I mean,
Well, and Palpatine likes to wax poetic. We saw that in episode 6.
yeah, true. And even in episode 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you get Palpatine talking. He's gonna talk to you for a bit. He's gonna tell you everything because that's how freaking smart he is.
As soon as his plan unravels, he's like, "Here's exactly how I screwed you."
Yeah.
and then what's crazy about Palpatine now that we're realizing it, Palpatine won. Like he freaking still came up on top.
Well-
even though Vader did what he did, Palpatine is like, it doesn't matter. I still was a step ahead of each and every one of you.
Yeah, it's kind of like he had to have had a backup plan, and we're gonna see it.
well, I mean, I mean, just of all of us talking, I'm thinking that maybe he's been playing the long game. That is why.
Yes.
Oh yes.
That's
yeah.
why he has not come out of hiding because I heard a theory that the reason why Snoke kind of appeared was because of the Emperor, kind of,
Yeah.
fell.
Yeah,
So,
and there's all these theories. What you got? Sorry.
Episode 3, Darth Plagueis
the wise.
taught him how not to die. That's
Yeah.
why he's not dead.
And he has this whole speech talking about it.
I don't remember that speech, James, at all.
The dark side of the force. No, you were quoting that.
Yeah,
too.
I know. I was doing that like the first day we were all hanging out.
Oh, you jerk. What was like? Oh man, I had something great, and I forgot. Oh, what was all this stuff about people going like Snoke was out in the outer regions?
That's true.
That's true. The way that the Empire, what was left of the Empire in the Aftermath
They all
series,
went-
they go to the Outer Rims. They go past the Outer Rims. They go to unknown space.
And that's where maybe Palpatine was hiding and puppet mastered Snoke and all this.
Okay, so here's the crazy theory that I freaked Joseph out. Okay, in Rebels, whenever was it Ezra
and Ahsoka,
are in this like world of like different going through time.
Time travel. Sorry.
He
World between worlds.
World between he,
right.
World
he
between worlds.
disappears in like what was it, like a fire?
So he's sitting at his desk in his office or something, I think, and he attacks Ezra and Ahsoka through the portal, and he shoots this blue-white flame at Ezra and Ahsoka into the world between worlds.
He is doing a Sith ritual.
Right.
I mean, at that moment, and I just remember watching that episode, and the fact that Ian McDermott came back to
Yeah,
play
he did
the
the
voice
voice Palpatine
for that was kind of like, oh man, this
Maybe at that point he knew.
yeah, I mean, was
It's
just
totally
like
possible.
this is really serious. Like
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's very true. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. The fact that Ian McDermott, James Earl Jones came back.
Yeah, I
but the
know.
fact that Ian McDermott was like, I'm coming back for this part.
Well, and especially because Sam Witwer had been doing Palpatine
Yeah.
since
Since the Clone
all
Wars, yeah.
7 seasons of the Clone Wars. For him to come back for Rebels is huge.
And, okay, so the blue
JJ was playing the long game.
the blue
Yeah.
fire that he's
Kathleen
throwing
Kennedy was
out.
playing the long game.
Yeah. Yeah, so he shoots this blue flame out in the end of Return of the Jedi when he gets shot down the tube of the Death Star. What pops out when he dies?
that blue.
The blue-white flame.
So there is this weird possibility
You've heard it here first.
that Palpatine, when he was falling down, he may have jumped somewhere else.
It didn't get incinerated
He
on
never
the
got
core
incinerated.
of the Death Star.
but
Didn't die. Hopped into a different timeline.
right. But here's the thing, though.
What you
If that did happen, though, then why did he not maybe go back and try and change the timeline to where he did live. So my question is, why has he been in hiding this entire time?
So my theory is when he was at some point in his life, he explored the unknown regions, right?
Okay.
He had a very, very close relationship with Grand Admiral Thrawn,
True.
who comes from the unknown regions.
Yeah, he was just painted on that mural as a human.
As
Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
anyways.
Don't tell me, Joseph, we're getting Thrawn.
We could get Thrawn. We could get Thrawn because he knows the unknown
Maybe
regions, the
Ezra?
uncharted areas of space.
Yup. Yup.
And so he explores it as he's plummeting to his death in Return of the Jedi flicks himself into him exploring this planet that he explored with Admiral Thrawn.
That is.
What you got? What you got?
Well. I mean, almost. I know. All of us are just kind of like just jumping up and down, like kind of freaking out because I mean, Admiral Thrawn and Ezra could show up in some way
Because they just disappeared at the end of Rebels.
Yeah. So I mean,
What you got? What?
Go ahead.
What is it?
Go ahead.
Hit it, David.
What if it starts off like the Two Towers? We follow the camera follows Palpatine down the shaft.
That's what I was
and we
thinking.
immediately find out what his fate was, which was not a fate at all.
Right.
Oh my god!
He falls down the shaft and instantly is in the space between worlds.
That's gonna look great.
And he's
in live
like-
action. No,
He's just
I
looking
mean,
around like, oh, I did it.
And it's the perfect opportunity for JJ to redeem himself for cutting out the Empire Strikes Back footage in TFA, and then have the footage from Return of the Jedi at the beginning of Episode 9.
And then here's the thing: what was Palpatine waiting for this whole time?
exactly.
You know who he was waiting for?
Snoke,
No,
The chosen one.
Ray.
Ray.
That I think Ray was the key. He knew somebody was coming that was more powerful than anybody else.
Okay.
and it was Ray,
Okay, well,
and that was why he waited. Are you okay? Sorry, we have a friend over here who's listening to us, and he's like, "Oh." All right. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
yeah, I mean, whatever happens, I think in a way everyone's gonna be satisfied. I mean, I just hope when the movie ends, it doesn't leave us on another cliffhanger or anything like
No,
that.
this is the end. This is the final chapter of the.
We're going to get resolution.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna end, and I think when it goes but we're gonna be cheering louder than we've ever cheered in a movie.
Okay.
And
before.
crying.
And crying.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
which
just-
brings me to the title.
yeah,
J.J. Abrams chose the title, The Rise of Skywalker.
right.
Who was expecting it? Nope.
0%.
Nobody.
Nobody.
0%.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't, but I've been hearing for most of the day. Well, who are they talking about? Because Luke's gone, Leia's gone, and I mean, and
But here's
Yeah,
here's the thing about the
and-
Star Wars titles. Though.
Yeah, I know.
They are so simple after you see the movie. You know what
right.
I mean? Like,
So
after you see A New Hope, when it's over, you're like,
Oh,
oh,
Luke's the New Hope.
A New Hope.
Right.
When you see The Empire Strikes Back, you're like, damn, the
Empire
struck back.
hard.
And when you see Return of the Jedi, you're like, dude, the Jedi returned.
right. So I mean, so when they say I mean, like it's called the Rise of the Skywalker. I'm thinking maybe they're talking about the Skywalker
Order.
or the Skywalker legacy of what like Luke and Anakin have left behind. I mean,
I think this is. I mean, anything can happen.
Right.
Anything could go on. The fact that we start with the father, and now we're going to the end, and this is the redemption of the Skywalkers.
yeah.
That is what I feel.
So when Kathleen Kennedy said at the beginning, this is the Skywalker saga, that was really a play on words. We're not talking about the Skywalker bloodline. We might be talking about the Skywalker beginnings of a new Jedi-type order.
Yeah.
And I got to give credit to my buddy Edward, who was awesome with us at Celebration. He helped us out, so I want to give a shout out to him.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
up,
So
Edward?
the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Luke Skywalker,
Yeah.
The Skywalker Order.
Anakin Skywalker, the Skywalker Order.
Yeah. Well,
So it's not one person, it's a whole collective of the new light side users.
right. I mean, how does why when people talk about the saga, most people consider it as the Skywalker saga because it's. I mean,
Well, I mean, because it's about the family.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
family.
it's got-
So for me to think about it as a whole group of people, I don't know if I'm on board with that. I mean, I like the idea, but I don't know if I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. For me, it feels like there's gonna be like not like a whole other set of.
So you think the
Jedi.
title's referencing a singular person?
I think the title is referencing a singular person.
okay.
Because
But who, though,
what
in
does
your
Luke
opinion?
say at the end of the Last Jedi? I will not be the last Jedi, which means the Jedi are still going to live on.
Okay.
So I think one, Rise of Jedi, and then two, the Rise of Skywalker refers to a Skywalker.
Two, Rise of Skywalker.
And two's Rise of
I'm just
Skywalker.
kidding.
No, but it's one of those titles that is so powerful because It can mean anything. The Last Jedi title was like, wow, that's crazy. The Force Awakens was what? The Rise of Skywalker it's such a powerful statement. It can mean like I said, the redemption of Skywalker, the bloodline from Anakin until whoever this little Skywalker is, you know.
Right.
It's insane to think about. Like, this is it, and that's what I think the title means. It's the bloodline.
Again, we won't know for sure what the answer is
Of
until
course
this
not.
is over
And
in 8
that's
months.
yeah, it's in December.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably going to hibernation until then.
So,
Man,
Do you have a carbonite chamber?
Because we'll all be.
I'll make
borrowing
one.
it.
I would love to go in there, just wake up and be like, all right, we're gonna go to the movies. So yeah, that was our coverage of the trailer.
The trailer. We didn't even talk about Celebration really
Yeah, we
today.
didn't talk.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but I think everybody wanted to hear the trailer.
Well, yeah, we were in the arena,
Yeah.
like 30 yards away from
Yeah, we were
the main
super
stage.
close.
So
We have a
let's-
YouTube video out
Let's
of
stop talking about
James'
the
reaction.
the trailer for a second. Let's talk about the panel.
Okay.
What
panel
was
was
everybody's
amazing.
favorite parts from the panel? I think.
For me, Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
When she came out, I was yelling, and then when Colbert was there.
Colbert was
the
the
hell.
host
that
of
made
the
me
panel.
so happy.
When Colbert mentioned her,
Yeah.
the standing ovation and the reception she received almost made me cry.
I mean,
and she was crying.
She was balling on stage. It was fantastic.
Because it was like I love Rose. I thought Rose was a great character, and I hated the fact that there were jerks out there who were really, really freaking mean to her.
Well, and the
and
crazy
everything.
thing is, like, she acted well. She portrayed the
Yes,
character
yes,
well.
very.
Just because her storyline wasn't great doesn't mean that that's her fault.
Yeah, exactly.
And so all of that was totally unjust the way that they did her online anyway, but that's besides the point. You know, everything she had posted up until the point where she stopped being on Instagram, on social media, was amazing. She was sweet. She was a part of the fandom, essentially.
Yes.
Like, it was amazing, and the fact that we shattered her soul as a fandom is upsetting, but I feel like today the fandom took a big step back to being like, hey, we're sorry, you're awesome, people suck. You know what I
some
mean?
people
Yeah, and
suck.
she has fans in her corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are all there for her.
I mean, there was 7,000 people on their feet for her today.
and it was amazing. The whole panel was great. It was funny.
Yeah.
We got to see BB-8. We got to see Dio come out. R2D2 was there.
R2D2 was there.
It was a great panel.
Okay, actually,
What you got?
Now that you mentioned R2D2, we didn't see him in the trailer at all.
No, we did not.
No, because
I mean, but R2's one of those that almost like 3PO. You know he's gonna be there, but that does raise the thing: why is he not hanging out with them on the planet?
Maybe
Why
he's
is-
with Leia.
There'd be too many droids.
But I miss R2 though. I mean, I feel like he hasn't really got
He's been like
attention
the
and-
linchpin for. Well, he was for 1 through 6, basically.
Yeah.
He was the droid, the go-to
Maybe
droid.
he's virtual, like mobility, like VPNing through DO to see everything that happens, so he can tell the story later on.
That'd actually be really cool.
he's remote
Dude.
controlling him.
Do
Because he tells the story.
yeah? He tells Dio, do this, do that, do this for me. You need to go and do that. Just messing with y'all.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does make sense, but it's not. It's dumb. It's dumb. All right. Anything else today? Anything else we should speak about?
The whole panel was great. The
whole panel was amazing.
I loved watching John Boyega and Oscar Isaac. Just
Oscar Isaac was great.
they were
Yeah, their
hilarious
banter
on
was really
stage.
good.
They were talking. They've definitely been on the internet. They know about all the weird fandoms out there.
Yeah.
Or the shippings that go
Yeah.
on.
Oh, and Phasma is dead.
Yeah. Boyega was like, nah, she gone.
No,
dog.
she's gone. Don't even. It was almost like he was like, yeah, why are y'all still talking about her? She's not coming back. So yeah, that's just not gonna.
No mas Phasma.
Yeah. And the love interest, we don't know.
It was
Everyone-
a love
everyone-
pentagon is what they
yeah.
were calling it.
The new actress. What was her name?
Naomi
The character's name is,
Ayaki.
and the character's name is Janae or something along those lines.
Jana.
Jana?
Jana.
Dude,
Not
her,
Jenna,
Her,
Jana.
her
Jana.
look was freaking amazing.
Right, she looks like a warrior. And
Yeah, when they showed her, the still of her from the movie on screen, my breath got I lost my breath.
I
was
haven't
like,
felt that way with a Star Wars character.
Yeah,
like to
she-
be like, like,
And she's
oh,
British.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my! Just to see her, I was awesome. And all those high res pictures they showed us.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And it was
Those
funny.
are
We were
incredible.
screaming just for the pictures.
Yeah.
Because
Every
that's
time.
how hungry we were. Like we were just like, oh my
so
gosh,
starved.
We need anything. And man, that was amazing.
Because we had nothing.
We had nothing.
Nothing official.
And then today they showed us man, and they
There's
showed
a big old
Lando.
dump today.
They showed Lando in the. You could tell he's in the cockpit of the Falcon.
Yeah.
Everybody freaked out, screaming.
And we all got episode 9 beanies.
Yeah,
Yes.
baby.
I'm gonna wear that every day. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny when they handed me mine. They were like, "This is from JJ and his people."
Yeah, but we're going back to Texas and we won't be able to wear them when we get back.
For like another 8
We're going to look all
months.
weird.
We'll get to wear them to episode 9,
Right.
Well,
yes.
yeah.
Because it'll be December.
Well, yeah, but that sucks for you guys because I live in Michigan and it's cold all the time.
I hate
so.
you. Just kidding.
Anyway,
So yeah, just hey, head over to YouTube and you'll see our reaction video. I threw it up there for everybody to see me yelling like a crazy person.
It's so
sorry
great.
about the
Everyone
quality.
was yelling.
Everybody
like
was
that.
yelling.
yeah, it wasn't just James.
It wasn't just
and
me.
David.
Everybody was
Yeah.
yelling.
I wasn't because I was broken as a human being.
But and then also
Yeah.
look at our coverage from yesterday and also from today. We're gonna be throwing up a video, and then we're gonna just keep covering this whole amazing celebration every day. So thank you for listening. This was a lot of fun. We hope our coverage of the trailer made you happy. Made us happy, I think. Just because we got to watch a trailer.
I mean, that's
again.
all we've talked about literally all day. We just talked about it for like 45 minutes
Yeah.
right now. We'll probably talk about it until we go to sleep
Yeah.
tonight.
So thank you for listening, and we'll be back tomorrow with more coverage and more videos. And awesome. May the force be with you.
Always.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew.